You are live. I'm live on a snowy Saturday on the East Coast. Just when you thought warmer weather was coming and you were done with the white stuff. Nah. Mother Nature still had something in store for us on the East Coast, and we're getting it today. I'm not sure if it's what's happening in the rest of the country, but they're saying possibly a foot of snow, which is quite a bit, especially when you consider we're already almost into the middle of May. What the hell? Whatever happened to all that global warming, right? Can we quicken that pace a little bit more? Because us in Canada, well, especially those of us on the East Coast, starting to like to see a little bit of that warmer weather or that higher temperatures that I keep hearing that's just going to happen. And I mean, so detrimental that, ooh, I don't know, where is it? Oh, okay, so it does look like something's going on here. I tried something else. Let's see here. Better close this one up. Stream key. Excellent connection. Enable DVR. Actually, I better start sending this stuff out here. I'm just looking at a different thing that I opened up on YouTube there today. Anyways, yeah, let me set this out here and then see if there's anyone that's actually joined into the stream as of yet. Okay. Oh, let me see. I think Leo got back to me here. Just one sec. Fair enough. Under the same. And for the same for me, I felt you were. Okay. Yeah, so it's confirmed now. Anyways, I might as well just mention that, I guess, first and foremost, that, yeah, me and Leo are a critical thinker. We're going to be having a chat, a discussion on Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern. So that'd be 10 p.m. Alberta time and 1 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, and then just figure it the rest, depending on what, I guess. So in BC, that would be 9, right? Yeah, it'd be 9 o'clock out in BC on the far left coast there. Anyways, let me get some of these pages all closed up here so I'm not using up too much of the bandwidth. My stream's actually been fairly decent as of late. I shouldn't say anything because, oh no, I said something. Oh no, I made the mistake of saying something positive. Oh man, what a mistake that is. That's going to backfire. Hey, let me see who's in the stream. Okay, yeah, there's a few people. What's going on, Derek? Good morning. Weather modification, yeah. Oh man, a foot of snow. I can't believe it. Like I say, we finally got green grass. Like, it was all basically gone. And to me, it's the worst part is my plow truck. I have a plow truck, but I haven't used it in years, and I don't have the money to fix it. So I got a truck with a plow, and I've not been able to use it all winter. And we didn't have money to pay for people to come and do it. So we've been shoveling all winter. And I got to tell you, it really sucks. I remember back in the days when I was a kid, it wasn't so bad. When you're getting a little older, though, yeah, that's shoveling, especially because, like I say, my house is in a rural part of New Brunswick, and my driveway's quite long. It's not like as if you live in the city where a couple spoonfuls will take care of shoveling your driveway, right? But anyways, I don't know. And it's going to be such a mess because it's going to be that kind of snow that's going to be real wet because it's supposed to turn to rain, then get turned back into snow overnight. So it's just going to be a mess, not just for the driveway and getting it out of the driveway, but like I say, I was hoping that we were finally done with it. Like I say, because usually around May, I mean, you don't really have too much. Even on the East Coast, usually you're pretty good by the time May rolls around. But it's like I say, no. Anyways, let's see who else is in the chat. We got Howard G. What's going on, Howard G? No snow. Good for you. Awesome. No cold weather out here in Calgary. Good for you folks. Like I say, East Coast is getting there though. That's a bummer. Like I say, it won't last long. Obviously, it'll melt probably within a couple of days, fairly quickly, but still sucks either way. Oh, it is snowing in London. Really? Huh. Probably a little more of that lake effect type of snow or something, maybe. But like I say, I would imagine if you're talking about London, Ontario, there, I would assume that's where you're talking about, right? Is unless it's London, England. But which, if you are, hello from across the pond. But anyways, but yeah, it'll probably, especially in Ontario, I know anytime you get any snow, it melts almost instantaneously. It barely even sticks on the ground. 20 degrees in BC. Nice, GZ. 20 degrees. I could really use some of that 20 degrees because that's the other thing too. Me and the wife, well, we ran out of wood and I didn't want to order another cord of wood. Trying to save the few bucks that we have, right? And it's been cool. It's been freaking cool. Hard to keep it warm. Actually, there's some days you check on because we have, a thermometer that checks the outside temperature and the inside. So there's some days where the temperature is warmer outside than it is in the freaking house. Like, damn, that sucks, right? Oh, good idea, Rainy Steps. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, please, and thank ya. Big howdy, y'all. What's up, Ron Sear? What's that dude sitting on a horse? You're not naked, is he? Looks like it. No, I guess he must just be wearing wrestler shorts or something. Yeah, Derek's wondering. Yeah, London, Ontario. Yeah, London, Ontario. Okay, where are we at here? Trudeau is about to do his 8:30 whisper to the sheeple. I can't stand one. I don't watch any of those things. I just don't. I mean, I don't know. You could even probably use that. It would be applicable actually when it comes to this. If I was honest, I would probably get triggered. I know it's a terrible thing to say, and I'm not a fan of that word trigger. But just to even see that fucking guy's face and when he's going on with the bullshit and the fact that a man can stand there and play these fucking ridiculous games and his constant promotion of feminism. And I don't know if you heard about the whole thing with the women. Like it's constantly pitting the sexes against each other. Like, he's just the most pathetic excuse in Canada, as far as I know. Anyways, I'm sure someone is probably competing to outbeat him in terms of virtue signaling his feminist credentials, but like he's way up there, folks. He's way up there, like fucking record winner, I guess, so far in terms of virtue signaling that he can't stand his. But meanwhile, he's a guy, right? But he's like always virtue signaling. It's like, don't worry, ladies. Yeah, I got your back. As for the men, who cares about them, right? And of course, you know why that is, because I would imagine most real men would never give that guy time of the day, which is why he has to surround himself with people like Gerald Butts, right? Like I say, these guys, other than like the fact that they, like Trudeau has that last name, but I mean, in the general scheme of things, whether they were in school or, in the business world or just out in social, in public realm, in any way, these are people that would be the losers, the betas, right? Or not even the betas, the omegas, I guess, the ones that are, but like, it's so weird. Like I say, the world that we live in today, the most competent people, the intelligent people, the strong, the resilient, the courageous, they're all, like I say, at the back of the bus, and all the people that are at the front of the bus and driving the bus are like I say, the weak, the inept, the corrupt. Like, it's just, the whole world really is upside down. Anyways, I see Rainy Steps. Thank you very much, Rainy Steps, for that $2.79. I really appreciate that. Here, coffee on me. Nice. Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was starting the stream. Tend to drink, because my streams, I have my coffees early in the morning. Then I don't usually drink much coffee later in the day. But if it's a cool day, and like it is today and snowing, I was actually thinking, maybe I should go dump that pop out and fill that cup up with some Java, a fresh cup of Java. That's the homemade style, which is free. Well, actually, it's not free. Of course, it's not free, but much, much cheaper than a Timmy's. But thank you very much there, Rainy, because the next time, man, I'm out around, I'll definitely grab myself a coffee, and I'll be thinking, this coffee is on Rainy. Right on. Appreciate that. Walleye opening day. Oh, walleye opening day. Right on. Oh, it is snowing in southern Ontario. Oh, yeah. Okay. Because, yeah, apparently if um, the fine folks or the gentleman that mentioned that it's happening in London. So, yeah, southern Ontario. Let's see here. Does anyone find it odd in May, southern Ontario getting snow now? That's the thing. Well, it's obviously the temperature, right? And but it is like May does seem unusual for most of the provinces in the country. But like I say, there's always that time where you can get a little bit of, like I say, to me, the biggest thing on the East Coast is the fact that we're getting a foot, like a foot, a little bit okay, right? And of course, depending on where the ceiling is and what the temperature is. I mean, I know all that in terms of like, the factors that would have to be involved to have snow happen at this time of the year. But man, a foot, like I say, just not a fan of it. Oh, wait, no. Hope you're not drinking that illegal Black Rifle coffee. Yeah. Somebody else shared that on my Facebook page. I think it was there. Yeah. That was part of whatever Trudeau banned, right? It was coffee or something. Trudeau is like a soft version of Adolf Hitler. Well, I mean, even Adolf Hitler, like I say, they all come across with that pretense that they're virtue signaling or they're benevolent. That's how they rise to power for their ilk, right? But yeah, he's definitely one. I mean, come on, he's got a background where he likes to do a little acting, right? He definitely likes to role play. So yeah, he's definitely putting on a role playing model and trying to come across as someone that's the exact opposite as what he really is. Like he is definitely an authoritarian at his heart, at his core, like probably every fiber of his being is. But yeah, he wants to come across that no, he's the exact opposite of that. Well, like I say, that's when not only the like that is actually a pure representation of evil, because to me, at least, like, the brutal authoritarian typically will at least own up to who they are. The ones that try to deceive you, like I say, so that they can get close to you or earn your trust, that to me makes them an order of magnitude even worse than a typical authoritarian, right? But yeah, I agree. We got a Miramichi. LB, is that is an L, right? Yeah, so LB Atlas, Pound Atlas. I'm just going to call you Pound Atlas, right? I don't know, unless you, maybe try to type it out in a manner like how you do it for when you're typing up a word or looking for a dictionary word meaning, how it tells you how to pronounce it, unless you want to do that. But anyways, but yeah, so it's nice to see another fellow NBer up in the she. That's where my oldest son took his 2-year business course up there in the at the campus in Miramichi there. For was it the college? MB. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the college, Miramichi. Yeah, he took his 2-year business course up in the Miramichi, and while he was doing it, he was not bartending. Oh, he was the bouncer. Yeah, he was the bouncer. And what else did he do? A couple other. Oh, and DJing. He did part-time of DJing and part-time of being the bouncer for Choo Choo's. So if you're in Miramichi, you must be familiar with Choo Choo's. It's the bar up there. Not sure if it's still up there, if it's still called Choo Choo's, but yeah, it was, for Miramichi, not a real big city, but it's a fairly happening spot. Hey, what's going on, Gary Schill? Good morning to you. Looking sharp. Thank you very much. Did you see the videos going around about new school rules when they open up? Stand on your dot. Oh, really? Oh, no, I did not hear about that as of yet, but I'm sure I will, Gary. But thanks for the heads up on that. What the hell? Stand on your dot. Dang. Oh, what's this? Ontario Homestead. That seems to be, yeah, you look like new to the streams. Appreciate that you for joining the stream today. Hope you're enjoying yourself. And if you wouldn't mind, hit the like button. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel and help me in some way so I can grow the ranks a little bit, right? Hello, all. I made it. Party can start. Okay. All right. Ontario Homestead is here. So now we can start the party. All right. Put the pop away and let's crack the. No, just kidding. Yeah, NBCC. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, New Brunswick Community College, Miramichi. Right on. Awesome. Yeah, he's what? 91. So yeah, he's 28 right now. Yeah, he's 28. Oh my God, I feel old. Yeah, he's 28. Dang, my oldest son's 28. Be 29 here in a couple of months, and then he's going to be pushing up on 30. Oh my God, that just makes me feel so much more older. Dang. Dang. Civil War. Well, listen, that's ultimately, I mean, we can't go on. I keep thinking about this too. Like, we can't go on indefinitely with, I mean, and if we are, to me, it's like either we do eventually lead to some kind of civil conflict, which you can't help but think it's got to happen, right? Or can we just get to the business of, can we just like, I just think of it because like I say, when you talk about people and their perception and when they vote for authoritarian mommy or daddy, left or right politically, it's just think of in your household, even if you were a kid, you would want your parents to stay together, right? Like the left and the right, right? So consider like authoritarian mommy or daddy in terms of statism, right? And how that affects the human psychology. But think about it. Sure, the best thing you would want or hope for is that mom and dad can somehow find some way to be cordial with each other, even though they seem to disagree on everything, right? Just constantly bickering, yapping, fighting constantly. Now, at some point in time, right, I get it for now, or for the longest time, it seems, is they're not doing much sniping towards each other, right? The left and the right, the ruling class that represent the left and right in this country, or their followers, right? There's not a much sniping or snipping at each other anymore. It's most of the sniping and snipping has basically subsided. Some still happens and takes place, but what it is now, it's just basically everyone has gone to their. So let's say, like say in a household, one of the older kids have moved out and there's a spare bedroom, and mom's now staying in the spare bedroom, and she goes from the spare bedroom. She's got her own bathroom in that bedroom, and she goes to the kitchen and cooks for herself, right? And I don't know, the kids or whatever. And then dad's still, he's out doing his thing. But basically, you got two people that are supposed to be part of the same household, but both of them are now currently ignoring each other. Nothing is getting done, basically. Actually, I shouldn't even brought up but basically, nothing is getting done. There's no end in sight to the conflict. And at some point in time, as the child in the household, you'd be like, well, listen, either you two come together and make up, or if it's going to be like this for the rest of our life, and you don't want to allow mom to do anything that she wants to do because you don't agree with anything that she wants to do, and mom doesn't want to agree with what dad wants to do because they both disagree on everything and how they should run the household or run the finances, right? Everything that you want to do to run a household, they disagree on, which means that you're not ever going to get anything done. It's impossible to get anything done if they both disagree on it, right? If you can't find a common solution to the problems, then what is the alternative option, right? Obviously, other than the conflict, which is to escalate to the point of physical violence, or one trying to kick the other person out or something like that. That's not going to work out very good for either parents or for the children. The only thing left at that point in time is if you realize that you have irreconcilable differences, there's no way you're going to get back to the point where you can come together anymore and actually show a little solidarity or respect for each other. Well, what's the only option left? Is to just separate. Just fucking leave each other alone. This is the problem with democracies. It's like we're constantly forced and thrust into being associated with each other. We can't escape. That's what I mean. That's to me, that's where the real lack of freedom lies in democracies, is that we're fucking enslaved socially and economically to each other to the point where we can't leave. To me, that's why, like where you're talking about provinces or even local jurisdictions or counties, that's why you need to decentralize to the point where you have multiple options of where you can go and how you want to be, whether it's governed or what kind of particular rules that you want to function under, right? This one size fits all approach under like a federal type system, or even with big government having such an influence on each province, it's impossible. To me, that's what I'm saying is all these provinces, or even portions of each province, should find some way to, like I say, just kind of exit stage left and separate somehow. Now, politically, yeah, that's really hard to do so. But you're going to have to try to do something in your local communities because, like I say, if we don't get to the point where we at least can escape from this goddamn, being enslaved to each other, well, eventually that's what will happen. It will lead to massive civil conflict at some point in time. So to me, like I say, the best possible case scenario at this particular time is like I say, adopt that live mentality. Sure, as if you're a right winger, you can't stand the left wingers. If you're a right winger, you can't stand the left wingers, and vice versa. Same thing, right? But just walk away from each other, leave each other alone. Stop fucking like this is. But the problem is, right? The problem is with Trudeau and his kind of feminist type of thing. So let's say Trudeau, the Trudeau government is like the mummy, right? Well, what it is Trudeau is representing the type of mummy, authoritarian mummy that's like, oh yeah, I'd like to let dad go. Matter of fact, she can't stand dad, like the conservatives, right? On the flip side of that, right? They can't stand each other. And she definitely can't stand like dad, the conservative type or whatever. But yet, if dad leaves or if she lets him go, well, she's lost that golden goose, that golden egg, right? It's like, that's the problem with people like Trudeau and like the oil and gas sector. As much as they would love to just fucking, who cares about these fuckers? They realize, these socialists like Trudeau, they realize, the minute you pivot away from resource development or extraction and all the profits and government taxation, how that fills up the government coffers, like I say, that's the quandary. That's the quagmire they're stuck in. They can't stand each other. They hate each other. They despise each other. They'd like to destroy each other. But they both kind of realize that they rely on each other in some way, right? That's the fucking problem, which is why, that's why self-sufficiency and learn to be a little bit more sovereign in it and growing up being independent and have the ability to not have to rely on those people. It's like, okay, well, if you can't come together and you can't be respectful of each other, then let's just go our separate ways and be done with it. You do you and I'll do me, right? Like simple as that. But no, it's not in a democracy, because every time you try to leave, they're just going to keep voting to keep you stuck here in place, right? All right. Who we got here? Oh, Choo Choo, just like the Opera House is burned. Oh, really? Choo Choo burned down. Oh, the Opera House. You mean in Freddie? The Opera House in Fredericton. I didn't even know that burned down. Well, that's pretty wild. That is pretty wild. Wow. I was not aware of that. That's too bad. Well, hopefully somebody rebuilds something, because up in the Miramichi, there's lots of party people. We'll need somewhere to go. Well, I guess not particularly right now, right? Seriously. Nice. Seriously. People actually think they're going to open up. Bwah! Some sleepy sheep in this room. Bwah! Nobody's sleeping here. Unless I'm really proficient at talking in my sleep. Damn, I must be really good. Time flies by way too quick. It does. 50 plus people lined up outside Canadian Tire this morning for opening. Yeah, I had to change the oil on the wife's car yesterday, and it uses, well, it's almost like water weight in terms of the viscosity, right? 0W20, well, 5W20, depending on if you're talking conventional or synthetic. But she brought home the wrong one, so it was 0W30. But the car is a little bit old, so it probably ain't going to hurt it too much anyways. But I was amazed at actually how much cheaper this was. That oil, it was synthetic, and it was like half the price of what I was expecting it to be. But I think they had a big sale on it. But yeah, Canadian Tire, and all these places now, you got to wait in lineups to get in because of social distancing and all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. Why else would he take? And I mean, come on, it's political. Exactly. I mean, it's so obvious and blatant that was the whole reasoning behind it, because it has nothing to do with obviously the shooter or any of this other crap, the excuse they keep pretending to use as to why they got to disarm the population. I mean, because like I say, only people that have never even given any thought to the whole gun control debate would even fall for that kind of nonsense. And tell you the truth, how I know that's true, because even when I watch or see the CBC articles on CBC's own website, even the fucking CBC loyalists, or at least a portion of them, point out the ridiculousness of a gun ban. That's not going, and it's not that they're in defense of gun owners. The people on the CBC they're not friendly to gun owners, most of them anyways, I would say, right? They'd be more than willing to do it, but they recognize the foolishness of this goddamn thing because it's not going to do anything. It's not going to be effective to stop crime or any of that shit, right? All it is Trudeau basically, once again, trying to poke his finger in the eyes of people that he perceives as on the political opposition to him, and in particularly men, right? In particularly men. I mean, and that's the crazy part. He talks about it, and really it is he's trying to go after men that like to, stand and show pictures of them with their weapon, because Trudeau's like, oh, I'd be scared to hold that, so I'm envious and resentful at the same time, and therefore I must bring you down, right? Kind of deal. He's, like I say, he's got that little man syndrome for sure. But the crazy part of that is like, really, you got to protect women, from these men who are violent. Like, really, do you think there's a lot of guys out there taking their AR-15s, right? Or what, like an AK, or I don't know. Actually, I guess you wouldn't be able to say you have an AK. But anyways, any of these weapons, you think that what violent men are like, that are in the, like, household violence or domestic abuse? If you think, do you actually believe, like how fucking foolish do you have to be to believe that, oh yeah, you just got to take away the AR-15s or these scary assault style rifles and somehow that'll stop domestic violence from happening? As if men like that are domestic abusers need a fucking gun in the first place. Chances are the guy's already probably what, 1.5 times the size of whoever this lady is that he's abusing in the first place, which is probably why they're abused, right? But, or I mean, not necessarily why, but a weapon, a gun, no. But you know what? If the guy was being abusive or violent towards a woman, you know what? That great equalizer in that situation would be for the woman to have access to some of these weapons, or in particular handgun, that Trudeau's even saying that he wants to ban them as well. So, oh yeah, he cares about women a whole lot, right? Protect them from violence or domestic abuse, right? Yeah, by disarming them and giving their abuser a leg up over them. Yeah, good job there, Trudeau. Jesus Christ, idiot. He's such a virtue signaling idiot. Well, no, actually, no. I got to stop saying the idiot thing, because no, they're not idiots. Actually, they're much smarter. That's one thing I will say, is they seem to be much, much smarter than people on the right side of the political spectrum. I know that's going to piss off people, but listen, they're way more effective. What the fuck are right-wingers doing that are this? What are they succeeding at? Right? Bowing to the fucking liberals, and basically like Scheer and the conservative types are like, oh, let's try to emulate the Trudeau liberals in some way, but pretend we're doing it in our own little way, right? Because, I mean, what have the conservatives succeeded at in recent years in this country? Basically nothing other than bending over and conforming to the liberal orthodoxy, right? Or the leftist orthodoxy, I should say. Because yeah, so I gotta stop myself from now on and stop insulting the liberals, the lefties, for being so stupid. Because actually, like I say, they're kicking the right wingers' proverbial ass on a regular and continuing ongoing basis. So, and like I say, they support each other. I mean, that's the thing. You got LGBTQ. Like minorities in terms of, like, if you're black or brown or, government worker. I mean, all of them. And there's so many things that they would have in differences with each other. I mean, tremendous amount of differences between all those groups alone. And there's even more that would identify on that left side that have all kind of circled their wagons and are defending each other and showing solidarity as a means of force against the right wingers. And yeah, it's working fine. They all seem to figure out some way to function with each other, even though they disagree with each other, probably fundamentally on quite a few things, but they seem to all be willing to put aside their differences and show solidarity with each other as a show of force. And I mean, look at it. It's working great. I mean, they're dominating on, not just in Canada, but basically on the global level as well. So they're very effective. Whereas the right wingers, like I say, now they don't even know, like they can't even figure it. I mean, and it's such a perfect example of in terms of like even the stuff I've been talking about. Look, they can't even figure out what the hell they should have as proper leadership, right? Which is perfect. And like I say, you're never going to be effective. Let's use the old military analogy. You're never going to have a very effective fighting unit if you don't have like the proper generals or the proper leaders of the particular platoons or whatever. Like if you don't have the right kind of leadership, yeah, good luck with that. And you have to have the ability to have actual leadership where people actually, know what, not just what the end goal is, but what the strategy is, what not just strategy, but what you should do to get from A to B. Like I say, there's no leadership right now. It's just all the right wingers are just all scattered, going about. And well, actually, no, they're too busy right now fighting amongst each other. Right? So they're fighting amongst each other. Like I say, the lefties are just smooth sailing. There's no obstacles or anything in their path because, like I say, the right wingers are too busy. Like all the left wingers are just rolling on by, right? It's like a whole military parade just rolling on by, and the right wingers are just too busy and distracted fighting amongst each other to even notice. Oh shit, what was it? Oh, did I see something at the corner of my? No, don't worry about that, right? So, yeah, that's going to turn out to be quite detrimental there. You might want to. You probably would have been a good idea to catch that a little bit earlier on. There was another thing I was going to bring up in this video too, kind of along that same lines. Well, that's kind of why I even want to have the discussion with Leo. And the reason why I want to do it with Leo and not so much with some of the other folks is because, yeah, like I say, that's what's happened, not just in politics, but even among the YouTuber or the social media influencers in this country. And like I say, there's not that many. But like I say, everyone is all divided, not supporting each other, or not everybody. Some are, but the ones that are, like I say, in leadership positions and have genuine influence and like have a strategic mind or know things, like I say, it's all now. It's just chest pumping, dick measuring contests. And like I say, well, go ahead and measure your dicks all day long. Like I say, the lefties don't care about what you're doing. Matter of fact, they're quite happy about the fact that you're distracted. So that's kind of what I want to talk to Leo about and kind of hammer out on this is what's going to happen. Because I mean, sure, we can all continue on doing our own thing, and I mean, I will continue to do my thing regardless. But like I say, is it proven to be effective in any way? Not in the slightest. It's just putting us at even more disadvantage, right? But like I said, and I kind of alluded to it yesterday, is my thing is, no, if you're coming at me as a statist, like I say, I might as well join up with the liberals if you're going to come at me and promote statism, right? This is supposed to be against statism. If you want freedom and liberty, that means you have to put your fucking indoctrination aside and your promotion of the state, and be willing to and be willing to show solidarity with people who aren't statists like myself. Because if, like I say, if you come at me where you just want to create your own particular state, then you'll never get people like me to fucking join up with you, because I don't want to be, ruled over or economically or socially enslaved by anybody. Even, like I say, to me, it's like the right wingers have an offer. Oh no, but we'll treat you a little bit better than the left wingers. Yeah, sure, we still want to be your master. We want to be your rulers, but trust me, we'll treat you better than the liberals will. It's like, no, I don't want no masters or any rulers. So if the only thing that's on offer from the right wingers is just, statism light, or the pretense of statism light, or just a different iteration of statism, is like, we're just, well, I guess we'll just have to let everything play out the way it is and just see what happens, right? Because what's happened, then whatever happens is going to happen. But like I say, I will not, and people like myself, the libertarians, and I mean, I hate to say this, but it's just truthful, and I'm not trying to be boastful or just egotistical, but no, it's the libertarians that are the leaders in this country. Like, don't expect libertarians to bow to any statist. So anyone that promotes the state, if you're conservative or whatever the hell you want to identify in terms of the political, no, you have to accept that it's the libertarians that are the leaders of liberty, not you. And so if you're trying to put yourself out in front of people like me, then like I say, well, we're not going to get there anywhere, because I'm not going to follow people that don't even know the path, right? Like I say, I understand it fundamentally. It's what liberty is. It's a well-beaten path in my mind. I understand it fundamentally to the core, right? So no, I'm not going to follow through the weeds of people that, like I say, don't even have any clue where they're going, right? Because they don't even know where that journey to liberty actually ends up. So yeah, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. But if we are going to, which, like I say, me as a libertarian, like I've always said so many times before, and even in my personal life, I'll reach out, I'll offer the olive branch, and then it's up to whoever else is out there whether they want to take it or not. So, like I say, I'll offer the olive branch, and I'm offering it now. And me and Leo will have a further discussion about this, and we'll get right into the nitty gritty of it. But it's up to the people to put aside their fucking egos, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's mostly a lot of these people that have far too big of egos, and they're letting their big egos get in the way of doing the right thing. So, anyways, that's just a kind of minor little rant. Just a little one. Do not surrender your guns. Definitely not. Definitely not. I would never, ever, ever suggest that anyone do such a foolish thing. If you know a native, give them your guns till this ban blows over. We need them. Yeah, yeah, you better be a trustworthy person, no matter who they are, right? Yeah. Oh, did you give me guns? Oh, I don't remember you ever giving me guns. It's like, I'm not saying that because of data. I'm just saying anyone that you would give any of your possession to, you better trust them, right? Oh, I lost them. I took them out in me boat. And it tipped over and I lost them at the bottom of the lake somewhere. Right? Hey, where'd you get that $5,000 from? You didn't have 5,000 before. Oh, no, don't pay no attention. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Hey, listen, that's the way a lot of Canadians should be, dealing with this particular issue today is, yeah, don't get out there and say, oh, yeah, they're never not come take my, and start labeling off all the guns that you own. Like, it's probably a bad idea to do that, right? But yeah, like Ontario Homestead, yeah, I don't have a single gun. All lost in a boating accident. Right on. It's a bummer, man. It's a real bummer. But hey, shit happens, right? What guns? I know nothing. Exactly, Gary Major. I don't know who the hell. I didn't even realize that. You mean actually Canadians actually own guns? Really? I always thought they were just wise tales that was being told to me when I was growing up. Right? I didn't believe that there were real guns in this country, but apparently they are. Where they are, I have no clue. I don't know who owns them. Right? Gover. LOL, I destroyed mine myself. Don't want their dirty money for them. Exactly. Right? Yep. I had an old single shot musket, right? And I donated to the Smithsonian. No receipt or anything. I just a donation. Oh, Yugoslavia. Yeah. Deny. Don't work, mumble. Deny, don't work, mumble. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, this is Canada as a whole. Yeah. Not sure how long you've been in there. Well, let's see here. 12:25. What time is it? Yeah, you probably heard me mention that we're going to be having a chat there, Leo. So yeah, like I say, I'll be really interested in having that conversation. It'll be like I say, and it's nothing against you, and I'm not trying to play any gotcha moment or anything, but like to me, it is very crazy how things. It's so counterproductive the way everything is unfolding in this country, and how the people that I was all under the assumption that most of the people that I used to talk with and converse and do videos with, I was always under the assumption that the reason why, because I was the one that was out doing this stuff before any of these new YouTubers came out. And I kind of thought the reason why they gravitated towards me and my channel, because it's not like I found any of these people. I didn't like, they found me. And what it is like, okay, obviously, so there's something about libertarian, because obviously there's lots of people that talk politics, but as a libertarian, the Canadian libertarian, I mean, anyone that's ever watched my videos, especially the ones before I started getting into just dealing with a lot of the news and bringing and philosophical concepts to, how you discuss what's happening in current events in the news. But it's like, if you understand what a libertarian is like, yeah, don't like to me, don't try to drag me back into like statism. I don't want it. I worked hard for many, many years to put myself in the mindset, both intellectually, psychologically, right, and philosophically, to understand what liberty is all about. So to me, it's like, why would I, if I put in that much work and effort, and I put myself at basically the upper echelons of people who actually understand liberty in this country, like I just can't race down to like, to me, it's like, I get why you want to gravitate towards learning about liberty, but then don't try to springboard. And I'm not suggesting that you did, Leo, but a few people seem like they want to somehow, okay, they use me to help benefit them and get their, their own YouTube channels quite popular. And like I say, I'm not saying this at you in particular, but I do recognize, like I say, I watched how this unfolded. I know the reality because I was there. I experienced it, right? It was my life is how this all unfolded. And now this, like, they just wanted to springboard over top of me, pretend I no longer exist, and now they want to take over as they're the leaders of liberty. But meanwhile, like I say, all they're leading is back to statism or status light or a different iteration of statism. It's like, well, okay, but you're not. To me, then it's just a matter of you want to play the red or blue thing. And like I say, if you're playing the red or blue thing, like, then to me, it's like, or team red or team blue, right? Authoritarian mommy, authoritarian daddy. To me, it's like, at the end of the day, mean, sure, I could probably say maybe authoritarian daddy might be better than authoritarian mommy. Maybe, but hey, it could be the other way around too. I don't know, because each individual and all this, to me, it's like, can we just get to the point where we're rejecting authoritarianism entirely? And like I say, figure out how to get out from underneath this stuff. But once again, it requires, and it will require, some very egotistical, narcissistic people out there that have garnered themselves an audience on YouTube now and are running with, like I say, promotion of their particular form of statism. And like, to me, as far as promoting statism, I mean, why would I want to get behind that and support that when I realize how detrimental it is to all of us? Anyways, but yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll save that for when we're having a conversation there, Leo. But yeah, thanks. Like, we'll have a good chat. We'll have a good chat, like I say. We'll have a good chat. I have no worries about that. Because out of all of them, like I say, you and AJ were the two that I found to be most reasonable. And like, which is why I'm willing to have a conversation with you. Quite a few of them, I wouldn't be looking to have a conversation, because I recognize it would be an absolute and complete waste of time. Okay, so where are we at here now? Yeah, I got nothing. But we have the right to freedom of association protected by the government. Exactly. The government protects your freedoms, right? Like, that's so insane. Liberty or death. There is no virus. All right. If you insist. That's quite a concerted effort on behalf of, well, I don't know how many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. That's quite a coordinated effort, right? I just keep trying to be as self-sufficient as possible. Leave me alone is my mantra. Yeah, exactly. Mine too. Like I say, I just wanted to get myself to the point where I can, exit stage left if need be. I'm here. I'm still on the fight. I'm still trying my best, but I always make sure that no matter what, how it unfolds, if I got to exit stage left, at least myself and the people in my, immediate care or concern that I love, that we can help take care of each other and protect each other and all that stuff, which is really, really like what we should all be preparing for, because we don't know how this is going to play out, right? I would like Canada back to old school ways you Xers would understand. I would like Canada back to old school ways you Xers would understand. Not quite sure what that would mean there, Tommy Gunn. That's what I feel bare minimum the provinces should do. That's the thing. That's the thing. It's too much. That's the problem with politics having such a fucking role in Canadians' lives. Is it's everything's talked in like a political mannerism rather than philosophical or based on principles or ideas. That's always my biggest concern. Is just too many people to worry about the politics of things. And like I say, politics is not the answer. It's definitely not the answer. And at some point in time, I think some people will come to realize that. What's up, Paul Q? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. To get your PAL, your wife is asked if you're a violent offender. If so, no PAL. Yeah, exactly. They even ask to see if you've got any violent past or history. Hey, what's going on, Mr. G Rich, buddy? What's happening there, my friend? Thanks for showing up to the stream. I really appreciate that. Where'd that go? Oh yeah, I use sheer as a pejorative. Like I just stepped into some sheer. Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, sheer. What a weakling. And he's a big dude too. But meanwhile, that's what I mean. Like, the bigger they are, the easier they'll fall. Basically, I guess. I don't know. Seems that way. Well, for some, I guess, shouldn't say that. But the gun ban is about the next stage where they can come and haul you out of your house for the public good because you might have this imaginary virus. Wake up. What's really going on? Actually, I will mention, I'm going to save it for either a stream with someone else. There's a topic I've been wanting to cover, but I'm just going to kind of give you a little teaser here because I was thinking about it. So if you think about the U.S., the founding fathers, when they were, setting up the U.S. and the Constitution and putting the 13 colleges together into one, one big country called the United States it was, and people even talk about it all the time. It was the wild, wild west, right? So there was very, 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 very minimal in terms of rules or laws or legislation on the books, at the very early founding of the United States. And that's just a reality. So tremendous amount of social and economic freedoms at the very beginning of the founding of the United States of America. And that's how that economic and social development flourished to the point where, like I say, it went from being basically just a ragtag of 13 colonies and some First Nations groups and stuff, kind of all sparse and kind of conflicting with each other, to being the most powerful and dominant nation by far, by a tremendous degree, in just a short period of time, in less than 2 centuries. Right now, I realize that it's kind of going backwards now, because liberty isn't being promoted nearly as readily, and there's not as much freedom readily available in the U.S. as there was during the founding of that country. But like I say, it was the very fact that there was that much freedom in the beginning, in the first place, that allowed the U.S. to become the most dominant, powerful nation on the planet, right? And if you don't believe that to be true, because I hear people that might try to argue or disagree with that, but here's a perfect example in the modern realm that most of us, I mean, if you're watching my stream, you're old enough to remember, at least, when the internet kind of come to fruition, right? Because we've all been using the internet. So think about it in the very early days of the internet, right? It was basically the same thing. It was a wild, wild west. There was very, very few rules, regulations, restrictions. There wasn't these big, giant behemoths. Well, there was no central planning government, right, in terms of dictating how you're allowed to use the internet, right? There wasn't. It was like the free flow of information. It was the wild, wild west. And that wild, wild west, the fact that it was open and free, is how the internet went from being just this little obscure thing, right, that was playing around on with a couple people here or there and trying things out, to now being like, think about how powerful and how widespread and how productive the internet has become today. Well, I mean, now, like I said, just like in the US, now we're seeing now some of these big players are starting to monopolize and use that power to suppress and deny the liberties or restrict the liberties of everyone else on the internet. So we're seeing that taking place in real time. But how did it go from being like basically zero to the most dominant aspect in how we communicate or use economic transactions? Like, think of how powerful the internet is today. How did it happen? Because of that freedom, because it was the wild, wild west where freedom actually flourished. That's how it happened. So at the very least, even if you want to disagree with me on some stupid political level in terms of, oh no, you can't give people too much freedom because they'll do with it. And yes, there were bad people that were doing bad things on the internet while all this was taking place. Were there pedophiles out there and people that were luring children? Yes, that definitely took place. It still happens today. Matter of fact, even if you heavily regulate the internet, that kind of shit is still going to take place. Just like even if you decree that killing people is illegal, it's still going to take place, because criminals don't really care about laws, right? And they'll always find ways to get out or circumvent those laws or those limitations on their ability to do whatever they want to do. That always happens. But like I say, so anyways, I'll just tie this up real quick. But that's kind of my thinking, is I want to find a way to put forth a presentation. And I know I don't have all that education like Stefan Molyneux has to be able to put all this stuff in point by point bulletins. I wish I was better. Of course, maybe if I had was incentivized financially to maybe take a course or something. I don't know. But anyways, but I'm trying to figure out a way to bring that, because like I say, the Wild Wild West, the real Wild Wild West, or the fact that the U.S. was free, is how it went. It was the freedom that was a prerequisite and a requirement to grow so exponentially. Same with on the internet. And like I say, that's a way for the older people and the younger people to be able to see two different examples and how that actually worked out perfectly. In yes, you need freedom, you need liberty for this to function and to flourish. For liberty to function and flourish properly, is you need that to happen. The minute you start limiting or restricting those liberties, well, the internet eventually, at some point in time, it'll be just like cable television, where there'll only be select players that get to program whatever you see and hear. And that's what we're seeing is happening on the internet today, which is why we still have a little bit of freedom. Like I say, we still have a little bit of freedom left, just like in the online world, just like in the real world. There's still enough freedom left. Like we're not all in the gulags yet. So before we do get to that point, and we realize, like I say, you see the path we're on, don't you? So before we get too far down that path to complete social and economic enslavement or the destruction of our societies, like I say, should we start recognizing how important it is? Freedom. At the end of the day, folks, liberty, freedom, individual liberty. That's what you need. Stop worrying about, well, yeah, but if you give certain people these freedoms that, they might do that. Bad people are going to do bad things regardless. Stop trying to come up with excuses to deny people that you disagree with their freedoms. If you adopt a more live, let live mentality and give the people that you disagree with freedoms, and then in turn, they do the same thing. Like I say, it's that freedom that's the only way we get out from underneath this mess, is by having that kind of freedom. Without that freedom, we're not going to, like I say, all that'll happen if we don't promote the importance of getting people psychologically and understand the importance of liberty, and to recognize that, the emperor wears no clothes and they have no legitimate authority over you, until you get people understanding that psychological concept and that very fundamental principle of what it is to be even free human being, then they're just going to, like I say, they're just going to do the same thing. And constantly, it's that death by 1,000 cuts or the boiling frog thing where, like I say, at some point in time, and I mean, we're already seeing it now. I mean, at this point in time, I think most Canadians who are even the boiling frogs are starting to, hey, doesn't it feel like it got a couple extra degrees warmer? I mean, surely there must be something in them that's recognizing, okay, right? I mean, like I say, even if you just went through the checklist, right, of what authoritarians do, to totally and fully socially and economically enslave their population, is like, look at what the Trudeau liberals have been busy doing. Basically, everything that would be deemed required for an authoritarian regime to take complete and utter control over every aspect of our social and economic lives. Anyways, so like I say, that's something I'm thinking about that I want to really deal with, because I need young people and old people to both understand that at the end of the day, it's freedom. It's freedom, folks. Okay, Ron Bush. Hey, you're not related to Jeb, are you? Low energy Jeb. Was it low energy Jeb, right? or the Georges? I'm just kidding. This gun ban is about the next stage where they can come and haul you out of your house for the public good because you might have this imaginary virus. Wake up to what is really going on. Well, like I say, yeah, and when they do that, they'll make sure to pick off the people that that your neighbors don't care watching you being trotted away, right? Because they're like, oh, I didn't like that guy. Anyways, this is the problem. Like I say, this is the problem with this kind of division in this country among the people, and being busybodies or constantly like this social and economic enslaving each other to each other, is nobody has the willingness to give anyone else their freedoms anymore. Like, we're constantly told by the thought leaders and the ruling classes that, you're supposed to oppose. Like, they keep us pitted against each other on a continuing ongoing basis. And like I say, it's working out. That strategy is working out great for them. Half of Canada's ministers are not born here. Yeah, I believe that. Today we have half-wits, no-wits, dim-wits, and hey, Timbits if you're sick of eating fucking stale cake. Right on, Ken. Yeah, that was good. That was good. When the police and military come for the firearms, civil war. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. Well, I know you folks won't. But I'm just worried about how many Canadians will, right? Yep. Right wing, left wing, just two sides of the same vulture. Yeah, it is. That's what politics is, right? Keeps people confused and confounded. Meanwhile, all you're doing, like, every time people think, oh, I gotta vote out the other guy because my team's better than that guy. Like, yeah. But all that happens every time is, yeah, you still get that gradual creep of authoritarianism. It changes brands over time, right? So that's how they trick you, is they make you think that, oh no, if you vote for us, we'll go against those people. Oh, they're trying to deny you your freedoms and liberties. Vote for us and we'll reestablish them. Meanwhile, do they ever? No, they just take away your freedoms, but in a different manner, right? Like, so whether it's conservatives or liberals, maybe they'll take away your social freedoms instead of your economic freedoms. So at the end of the day, like I say, you're still losing your freedoms. It's just to pick your poison, right? Guns, what guns? They all got up and walked out on me. Yeah. I know them things. I don't know what's up with them, right? Tends to happen. Yes, there's a Libertarian Party in Ontario for sure, Gary Major. And Gene Balfour, gentleman, I was actually supposed to have a conversation with him regarding UBI. He used to be the leader of the Libertarian Party of Ontario. I think he mentioned me actually in the stream. They have a new leader for the Libertarian Party of Ontario, but you can find them on any of the social media pages. Just go to Facebook or do they have one on Twitter? Maybe not, but I know they do for sure on Facebook. And there's obviously the Libertarian Party, the Federal Libertarian Party, headed by Tim Moen. I actually talk about Tim Moen. There's an article he put out there in regard to the gun grab, which maybe I'll read that here in a bit because it was a great article. And like I say, Tim Moen's he's the leader of the Libertarian Party, but he doesn't care for playing politics. He's philosophically a libertarian and an excellent leader as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, there's definitely a Libertarian Party of Ontario. And the good thing about the Libertarian Party of Ontario, what I recognized is they actually have pub meetups on a regular basis. So if you join the Libertarian Party of Ontario, you'll get notifications for events where they go out to like pubs and have meetups with other libertarians and talk and discuss, which is a great thing because then you get to meet people in real person, in real life, and talk, maybe in a more private setting rather than on social media, right? So definitely check them out, Gary. Like I say, I'm not sure who exactly the leader is of the Ontario Party right now, or Ontario Libertarian Party of Ontario, but it'll be all up there on the information on their Facebook page. I'm sure of that. And by the way, like I say, when I talk to Gene, maybe I'll kind of ask him for some more information if you're watching that stream. Like I say, his name is Gene Balfour. Gene Decode, check it out. Oh, Gene Decode, check it out. Yeah, Coach T-Mac. Yeah. I would expect that would be the case. The ones that are wise, anyways, right? The 3D printed firearm. Yeah, that's another thing. Thanks for bringing that up, Stan Holtz, because actually, in addition to the fact that people would just, hey, what gun? I don't have any guns, right? Of course, that's the thing though. If you've registered them and they know that, I don't know, that's going to be a little bit more difficult. Which is why I've said all the times, like, register them. It's like telling your authoritarian masters exactly. Like, I don't know, probably not a good idea, anyways. But I get it. Hey, that's the law. You have to do it, right? So I get it. If you're someone that has your position and acquisition license, you gotta toe the rules. You gotta toe the law, right? But anyways, but yeah, when you're talking about 3D printed guns, actually I haven't heard nothing from the guy for a while, but it might just be because I haven't gone to his channel. It's called Defense Distributed. Cody Wilson. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, Stan Altz, but Cody Wilson, he's a young man. He's a libertarian, of course. Of course, he's a libertarian, right? But anyways, I think he's even identified himself as an anarchist, libertarian anarchist. But anyways, he has been at the forefront. He was the guy that created that first plastic 3D printed gun. And he didn't do it to obviously to use for people to use it for nefarious or illegal reasons or to use for criminal means. But basically what he did is when they were talking about gun control in the US, basically he did that and he put the file out there publicly just to show, oh yeah, you can come up with as many rules as you want, right? But here, I have just shown that anybody can take, and I think that the 3D printer he used at the time was only like $1,200. Anybody can basically take a fairly inexpensive 3D printer and create their own gun. So no, there's the pretense of big government writing some rules or laws or regulations to restrict or deny the American people the right to bear arms or defend themselves. Well, you go ahead and write that as much as you want, but it's not going to stop anything because we have 3D printers, right? And there's thousands of them. And that it started out early on, like I say, with the printing of the plastic gun, made of really, really obviously very heavy duty plastic. And he actually used it and it actually worked, right? You just need, basically you can use a nail. Everything in the gun is plastic. The only thing that you need that's metal is the actual, to hit that actually strikes the actual bullet to actually, send the projectile off. So the strike, like the pin, basically, and all you used, I think he used like basically a nail. So, I mean, you can't prevent it. Like you're not going to stop. Gun control is completely fictional and it's utopian construct that's not ever going to happen in the real world. And pointing that out is the most important thing that people can do is say, okay, yeah, sure. You go ahead and write that rule down there, Trudeau. But like I say, in the modern era, You're not going to be able to prevent this stuff from happening. You're not going to be able to have gun control when there's actually, like, every American now, or Canadian, or basically anyone that buys a 3D printer can become their own manufacturing facility, right? Now the means of production is in the hands of every private individual. And like I say, it started out with the plastic gun, the Liberator, I believe is what he called it. But then, well, it's gotten much better now, and now they've done metal. It's called sintered metal. So now it's just layers and layers and layers of sintered metal, and now they've perfected it where they've got the 3D design, computer-aided design blueprints out there, and they're available on the internet as well for free as well, where you can build metal guns. I forget, it was what was that one? I can't. Sorry, folks, I can't think of the actual pistol right now that he actually designed. His first one that designed on the metal 3D printer and created, and then he went out and I think he practiced. I think it was 1,000 rounds. He shot off 1,000 rounds in total with no issues. Like, just to make sure that actually a 3D printed gun was going to hold up to the rigor and abuse of multiple firings, not just one or two, right? Multiple firings where it's getting hot and putting under stress or pressure, right? And yeah, it withheld that and so, like I say, now gun manufacturing is as simple as buying a 3D printer, right? Now, obviously the metal ones are going to be much more expensive, but there are quite a few people that can afford to buy those metal printers. So yeah, when you can have a literal means of production in every household or every basement or every garage, yeah, good luck with your gun control, right? So yeah, good for you for bringing that up, Stan. Because like I say, the people that believe that gun control is actually going to work or prevent crimes or bad people from doing bad things, I mean, I don't know how delusional these people are, but they'll come to realize at some point in time, but usually it'll be a little bit too late, right? No garden seeds and snow in May. I know, just in case some vegetable seeds were planted. Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't take ours out. We still have ours where we got it in the household so we get sunlight every day, but we've had to keep the plants, and we haven't actually put them in but with soon, like, it's getting to the point where they're growing enough in their little potter things. Like, we're soon going to have to take them out. So no more snow. Come on. We want to get our plants in the ground, for crying out loud, folks. And we do actually, the wife put in some yellow and green bean ones, and man, they're sprouting up hardcore. Like, it's like, damn, that thing, once they start, they just, and I'm surprised because, like I say, even the temperature in the household hasn't been super warm, but it's definitely staying above zero. But yeah, I'm anxious and chomping at the bit myself to get some of them veggies in. So yeah, go away, snow, go away, bad weather, right? Don't need you anymore. Yeah, there's the problem, right? I know, right? That's the problem with the registering your guns, right? And I know it's something that you have to do. Well, that's what someone wrote on parchment or paper, or in terms of legislation, right? That's what they deem that you're supposed to do, is to register them so they know what you got. Does everybody always do everything they're told? I don't know. Like I said, some do, some don't. Yeah, anything, literally anything can be. I could use this cup. Matter of fact, especially once you broke it a couple times, and if you put a jagged edge on that, oh yeah, that could be a lethal weapon. It's an assault cup. It's a Canadian Libertarian assault style cup. Very dangerous. Watch out, folks. Oh, now I'm not going to be able to have the channel or the montage because I'm showing weapons on screen. Obviously, I joke. Kinda. Make a firearm at Canadian Tire, $30. Try prohibit that. Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and there's those. Yeah, not even talking about exactly. Thanks for bringing that up, Tommy Gun. But yeah, even without the 3D printed firearms that you can get out there, that's quite readily available now. There's lots of guys. I knew a couple guys growing up that they go out and take some old metal stock, like some thick piping, hollow piping, and I forget now exactly. I won't mention all here on the thing, but you can definitely build yourself some kind of makeshift gun, right? That'll fire a projectile. Is it going to be super accurate? Right? Probably not, but it could actually prove to be quite dangerous as well. Not just to the person that's on the other side of the site, but even the person that's on this side of the gun. Right? But either way, but yes, of course, those are things that can happen. What happened here? Whoops. Oh, it scrolled down here quick. It went down too quick for me there. Where, oh, where did you go? And like I said, I didn't even bring any articles. Well, I mean, I got a few in the background just in case, but you folks always keep me plenty busy enough that I don't even have, like I said, I probably won't even be covering too much. Today's just kind of the food for thought, like just thinking about things kind of like I was mentioned there. And then my conversation with Lito. So just thinking about some things instead of just dealing with the articles. Like I say, kind of a relaxed, more of a laid back kind of a day. But if you folks have any, like I say, well, you already got lots of good questions as it is, but anything you want to bring up, like I say, because it's kind of a free for all today, just a free for all. Holy crap. Damn. How far behind am I here? Because, I guess you folks are actually just, well, I guess, yeah. You folks are right on the ball this morning, or today, I should say. Oh, she did a great, now I want to hear what you're all talking about with each other. What are you saying? What are you saying anyway? Oh, shit. No, I got to go back down. I went up too far. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So, Mr. G. Rich, if you haven't had the chance to see any of Dr. Judy Mikovits material, what she has to say is very interesting. Okay. Good for, might, if I can remember, I'll check that out maybe. We'll see. Okay. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, exactly. Reason why us rose against the British Empire taxation without. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a 3% tax on tea, right? It started the revolution, basically. But that's the thing. When people were tired of being, treated like second-class citizens, that's why they fled, Europe and went to North America, U.S. in particular, a little bit in Canada, but most of the ones that actually were truly staunch sovereigns or independents and wanted their liberty, most of them went to the U.S., obviously, right? But yeah. She did a great interview on Value Entertainment on YouTube. May still be up. Okay. Okay. Oh, there's a Plandemic website? Plandemic.com. Well, I should have known there'd be something like that. That's wild. Yeah, 3% of population U.S. stood up to the largest empire of the time. Yeah, that's like I say, and I've said so many times before, you don't need the whole country. You just need, like I say, even 3%. But that 3% represents, 3% of what are we at? 37 million. I think I did the math there one day, but it still represents a substantial portion of the population. So 1%. Or let's see. Yeah, I'd have to do the math there, folks. My mind today is, for some reason, I'm just not in the old math type of mindset today. So I'm not even going to try. But it would definitely be a lot more than the few hundred people, or even a couple thousand people that tend to watch these kinds of videos and support people such as myself. We still definitely got to grow the ranks by at least a substantial degree, right? Which is why, like I say, like when I was starting this stream, is a lot of people in this country got to put their egos and their differences aside, set that shit aside to do the right thing, right? I don't just mean the great or good, because the bad people, like I say, they deserve whatever they get. I'm talking about for the good people, for the people who don't deserve to be social and economically enslaved. Like, we have to do it for them. The bad people, whatever. Let them eat cake. But although they will benefit to some degree, but at the very least, like I say, we do got to come together. It's very important to do so. I believe it's time for a revolution. Well, I kind of get what you're saying there, Mr. G. Rich. The problem with revolutions is, like I said before, is that you always end up back at the same place. That's what a revolution is, right? You basically end up set. But at least you would get a little bit of temporary reprieve during the interim while you're making that revolution, right? So I guess that'd be better than nothing. But I always say, rather than a revolution, we need an actual evolution, intellectual. like where people actually understand what freedom entails. If you can get that, then it's not something that can chipped away or beaten away, right? It's because freedom is a state of mind. If you get people in the proper state of mind, then really, like, whether it's a revolution or whatever, however it plays out, at the very least, you got the recipe for at least a population ready to go battle with the authoritarians. Absent the knowledge, though, is, like I say, absent guidance, right? Absent knowledge and guidance and proper leadership so that people know what the hell to do, right? Then even a revolution, I mean, think about it. The Russian Revolution caused a lot of harm to a lot of people like us. Matter of fact, you know, the Russian Revolution or the China Revolution, the Communist Revolution in China, or a lot of these revolutionary aspects of people that were disenfranchised with their current status paradigm and wanted to overthrow their current government. Well, think about how that played out under most revolutions. You ended up not really with a whole lot more freedoms, and actually, at the end of the day, even more social and economic enslavement. So I definitely don't want that. Hey, what's going on, Malcolm Johnson? Hey, we got 3 of the membership folks in the membership out there today. And thanks, like I say, thanks again to all of you for joining the membership ranks. And like I say, we got a half a dozen now, so we're actually getting enough people. And I'll probably do that soon if you folks are interested in doing a live stream and just having it a live stream for members only. And you can have your private chat, and we can talk about things. Hey, I can bring in terms of that, I can bring you folks right onto the stream, actually, because actually, no, I guess depending on your level, I can't bring all you on the stream because you have to be at a certain level. But we could definitely do a stream where it's more oriented to the members. And like I said, I really appreciate the members out there. And hey, if anyone else is looking to join it, join the ranks and the membership, then you can do it for as little as, I think the lowest one I was, I think it's only $1.99 per month, right? Or $2.99 per month, $2.99 per month. So it's pretty cheap. And like I say, it helps me. And like I say, I'll be able to get more and more. The more and more people I get in having membership, like I say, I can start to use some of those added rewards and do some special streams just for members. A little bit more exclusive content, right? Anyways, what was Malcolm Johnson saying? Canada does have a Bill of Rights, and we do have the right to bear arms. Well, that's the thing. I agree with you, Malcolm Johnson. The problem is, though, is the way those rights are interpreted. And here's the problem. Whereas the U.S., right, it says shall not be infringed. Whereas the founding fathers of the U.S. were wise enough to not only actually properly enshrine the right to bear arms and point out the fact that it's not just for hunting, right? There's a reason why the term militia was brought up in there, right? It's because it's literally to defend yourself against oppressive or tyrannical regimes, both foreign and domestic, right? So even to defend yourself against domestic authoritarians, right? That was the whole point and premise of why the founding fathers set up the Constitution in such a manner, and they made that language clear and concise. And they didn't give any disclaimers that said, oh, but you can override it if, right? No, it literally said in there, shall not be infringed, which it's the only thing. It's those 4 words alone that have probably been the most important aspect that has retained the Second Amendment. Well, of course, the people who are staunch advocates and defenders of it, right? Because you need the people to defend it, because words written down don't do much if you don't have the people willing to back it. But those words combined with the people willing to point out those words and willing to defend what those words mean is what has maintained right to this day, even with the leftist authoritarians constantly trying to override the Second Amendment in the U.S. It's the very fact that it says shall not be infringed is what has kept, those in the legal, like, the Supreme Court or some of these judges from infringing or denying those rights, those inherent and inalienable rights, right? Whereas in Canada, oh yeah, it says all that stuff, but there's the notwithstanding clause, right? So basically, yes, Canada, they kind of pretend, like if you read the wording of the Bill of Rights, it says in there that you're supposed to have the right to bear arms, right? But like I say, because they've given themselves that get out of jail free card where they can basically override that pretense of your inalienable or inherent rights by saying, oh no, but we have the ability to deny them. And because the Canadians don't understand psychologically, like that's the thing. The Americans, because they understand that it says in the Bill of Rights, in their Bill of Rights, shall not be infringed in their Constitution, they understand, oh, no. Anything you do to infringe them? No, look, it says right here, shall not be infringed. Whereas in Canada, how are you going to take that and put that before a court? Because that's, if you're talking about, dealing this in the legal manner, when you're talking about the Constitution, because if they infringe your right, even the CCFR, or whatever, the firearms outfit is going to take the federal government to court, if they're trying to make the argument through the legal mechanism of the Charter of Rights, well, all the government has to do is say, yeah, but look, we've got the notwithstanding clause. So that trumps your pretense that you believe that you have rights, right? And in reality, based on the way it's written and the way the judges will probably interpret it, I don't even have much hope in the lawsuit actually being successful. What I think, it'll be politicized to the point where they might give gun owners a little tiny bit of reprieve. But I think if it even gets to the Supreme Court, what the end result will be, because of the type of people that are on the Supreme Court and how they'll interpret, gun rights in this country, is, no, we're going to deny most of the Canadians' rights, but we'll leave a little bit in there so as not to completely come across as a full-on gun ban. They'll do it in a political manner, so it'll look like they're at least trying in some way to defend or protect the rights of gun owners in this country. But at the end of the day, no, I believe the battle will ultimately be lost. That's what I firmly believe. How it plays out, like I say, I could be proven wrong, but I don't think I will be. But it's the very real fact that in Canada, we have the notwithstanding clause, or the ability to override the Bill of Rights, right? Without that, if we could have that at least removed from the Bill of Rights, you might be able to get somewhere through the legal means. But absent that, right, which would require what? A constitutional convention or something, whatever you would need, like 2/3 to be able to rewrite the Bill of Rights, and the work that would have to go into doing that. Like I say, the legal means it's an avenue that it zigs and zags and does a loop-de-loop and backflips, and by the time you get even to the Supreme Court, you'll be so fucking dizzy and confused, confounded, you won't even know what kind of defense to put forth, right? So I don't know, like I said, I don't have much faith in the legal prospects because of the way things work. Hey, what's going on, Wendy? Good morning, everyone. Anyways, I gotta hurry up and move on, because here we are. It's 1:21 and it's 12:54. Shame on you, Bennett. Shame on you. Get down past here. Wolverines. Nice. Wolverines. Red Dawn, baby. I love that movie. Didn't they redo that again? I swear they redid that again. I like the original one, though. I love the original one, especially when I was younger. Me and my friends used to go to this place in Scarborough called Snake Hill. It was just a little park type area, but yeah, we'd have our little fake little guns and shit, right? And yeah, we all did our little role playing in terms of, we were like the members of Red Dawn, man, and we were going against those fucking Russians that invaded our country and are trying to bring communism. Oh shit, that sounds very familiar, doesn't it? Hey, very Trudeau is that Trudeau represents the communist regime, right? Anyways, rise up from our Chinese. Well, actually, that's the thing. Trudeau is not Chinese. That's another thing. Hey, good morning, Micah W. Hello. By the way, if everyone wouldn't mind, please hit the like button. But yeah, that's the thing. They're not Chinese. I was saying this before too, which is why the right wingers don't like me. Here, let me just say this. The right wingers, you know how I would, and I know this, it's probably the easiest thing ever, how I would carry favor with the right wingers. All I have to do is I just got to kiss the ring of conformity in terms of playing the identity politics, in terms of race, right? Then they love me. Then it's like, oh yeah, now you're part of our team, Bennett. Yeah, say bad things about people from different backgrounds, and then we're okay, because it's all about nationalism. But their kind of nationalism is not just the nation, it's white nationalism, right? So if I identify as a white nationalist, then the right wingers, a lot of the right wingers, be like, okay, now Bennett, you're allowed back into the ranks. But it's like, why would I do that when I recognize the very people? To me, this is the insane part. My whole life, the people that have always fucked with me and caused harm to me, whether it's social harm or economic harm, and used the legal means, like use big government to fuck with me, it was all people that look just like, well, not like me, but same skin color, same background, same history, same accents, more or less, right? So it's people that are like other white people just like myself, which is why I don't get into this whole thing in terms of like the identity politics or picking like whether it's the sad part is a lot of times in my life, it's been people that don't even share my skin color who have treated me with much more respect and dignity than people that, like I say, not just share my skin color, but even people that are members of my own goddamn family. So if I don't even have this kind of blind loyalty towards people in my own family because I recognize that they're fucking evil or some of them are just plain bad people, that, yeah, I don't want to align with these people. Well, I sure shit ain't going to expand that out to the national stage. There's some really, really fucking bad white people in this country, namely Trudeau. Like, Trudeau's pretty white, right? Chrystia Freeland, she's pretty white, right? Come on. Legault in Quebec, he's pretty white. A lot of white people in this country. And they're fucking with us constantly, which is why I don't get into this, which is why, like I say, for the right-wingers that are the white nationalists, no, you got to come more closer towards me because you're the one that's got the wrong kind of fucking way of thinking about things. Because I'm not just going to go target people or attack people or insult people based on anything, based on like some superficial aspect of what their eyes look like, what their skin color is, what kind of hair they have, or some other superficial aspects. Like I say, no, we got to get to the point where, like I say, you're putting all that stupid bullshit aside and deal with who the real individuals who are bad are, no matter what color their skin are. Are there bad people in government that have brown skin or black skin? Of course. But it's not their skin color. It's the fact that they're in government and they want to dictate and control every aspect of your social network. That's what makes them bad. It's not their skin color, right? But anyways, I know I tend to go on, but this is why. And I know this is one of the most important things that keeps me and the right wingers separated. I know with 100% certainty because I like I say, I've lived it. I've watched it unfold. And when they thought, especially when I was, railing against mass immigration and supporting the PPC in terms of they're trying to reduce immigration, a lot of people that did gravitate towards me, they were doing so because they were thinking that the reason why I was against mass immigration was the same reason why they're against mass immigration, because they just don't want a bunch of brown and black people coming to this country, right? But once they found out, it's not, has nothing to do with that. It's because of, it suppresses wages, the welfare state. It's bad enough I have to be forced to pay for people that are, already here in Canada, or the fact that now you're going to allow people to just pour across the country, or hundreds of people, thousands of people are pouring into the country that are going to keep wages suppressed, or that are going to have to compete with the housing market, or for the roadways and how congested it had not, like, to be in any argument I've ever put forth and presented in terms of my stance against mass immigration or illegal asylum seekers coming to this country. I made the proper moral and economic stance. Had nothing to do with skin color. And as soon as they realized that, that's what your thing is, like, I don't like you no more. It's like, all right, then why would you pivot against someone like me just because I'm not a racist? Like, is that really what you want to surround yourself with? Because if you do, like, by all means, go ahead and do it. But you're not going to, like I say, the people that you're going to require, if you're only going to want to surround yourself with white nationalists and racists, you're not going to have the right kind of people to lead you. Like, you'll have lots of grunts, right? Because these are knuckle draggers mostly, right? You'll have lots of grunts, but no leadership. What good are a bunch of grunts, like I say, without any leadership? Well, if you've ever been in the military or any of these places, yeah, like I say, take away their leadership, and then what do you got? A bunch of people basically like three blind mice running around like, I don't know where I'm going, man. Whereas someone that, knows how to think critically on the fly in real time, those libertarians don't need that much structured leadership. Why? Because, like I say, they're sovereign and they can think critically on the fly. Whereas a lot of the right wingers that would be considered the white nationalists, they can't think outside of anything other than whatever they're told, which is why they're order followers, a lot of them, right? So anyways, I know that'll piss people off, and there might even be a couple people in the chat. And I do see the numbers went down by a couple. So I might have already even pissed off a couple of them that were watching the stream. But hey, listen, I'm just being honest and forthright. I'm not, think about it. If that's what it is, if that's what's going to keep us divided is because I'm pointing out reality and I'm being honest and forthright, then like I say, I'm not going to bow down to you folks, or not you folks, but whoever these other people would be, right? But anyways, good morning, fellow patriots. Oh yeah, we already said that. Yeah, I got to hurry up and get down here. But this has been some good stuff here, folks. So I really appreciate all the great comments here. Yeah. Find yourself a service or product that is in demand when the economy collapses. Yes. Well, I mean, that's the thing. There's always going to be things that are in demand. So there's going to be opportunities for sure. Let's see what Mr. G. Rich has always got his sock drawer. Right on. Right on, the sock drawer. Nice. I've got a couple of those kind of sock drawers. I got some. Or unless you're talking about somewhere. Never mind. Maybe might not even be thinking about the same thing. I don't know. It's hard to make people see this. I'm banging my head against the wall with my family. Yeah, I hear you, Wendy. I hear you. I really do. It is difficult. But there are ways to go about it. Like I say, to me, the 4-question quest for freedom, because it makes people think so profoundly and so profusely. If you tell someone something that they've never heard before, but they can run that construct through their mind and realize, oh shit, no matter what I do, I can't debunk that. This has to be true. That's a big eye opener. I think that has actually helped, right? Arguing and debating with them a lot of times, right? It just causes you to that's it, I'm done, and you walk away from each other. But if you get them curious and just plant some seed in their mind that intrigues them, or like I say, starts their brain down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I know it doesn't work for everybody. I get it, but like I say, the 4-question quest for freedom that I've set up where you can prove to people that there is no such thing as legitimate government. Because think about it. If I walked up to you tomorrow and said, there's no such thing as legitimate government, and I can prove it in 4 simple questions, you'd be like, yeah, right. What's this guy? Oh, you snake? Oh, you got some snake oil you want to sell me? What? Wait a minute. What is this? Am I on candid camera? All right. That's funny. You got me. But no, it's absolutely 100%. Like I say, and you don't even have to be the one that, proves it to them, because they have to answer those 4 questions themselves in their own mind. They actually prove the validity of my claim by the sheer fact of them answering the questions honestly. Now, if they lie to themselves in their own mind, but that's the thing. If you're willing to lie to yourself in your own mind, then you have cognitive dissonance and you're not going to fucking learn anything anyways. And those people, at that point in time, it's like, walk away, because they're not willing to listen. But the people that even are the slightest bit curious, like I say, I found that 4-question quest, because once you bring it up, they're at least going to be curious. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean there's no such thing legit? We have government. Look, go to Ottawa. You'll see, look, there's the Parliament building, right? You'll see there's the House of Commons. You'll see there's all these MPs. You see the Trudeau, like the Prime Minister, and look at all these premiers. What do you mean there's no such thing as legitimate government? I said legitimate. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's lots of people that like to claim they have legitimate authority over you. And they do have authority over you by sheer fact that, they got a lot of order followers that will follow through with their mandates and edicts. But is it legitimate? Because to me, that's the most important aspect of it. Is their authority legitimate? No. Because you could even say, like back in the day, kings and pharaohs had authority over their populations. Yes. But it was arbitrary authority. It was authority by decree. And even people back then knew that it's not like the king had legitimate authority over them. It's just that he claimed that he owned the land and he had a lot of enforcers that followed through with his decrees, right? So I don't accept Longshanks as being my ruler, but hey, I recognize that there's a lot of people that do, and they'll probably want to try to impose his edicts upon me. But at least the people understood that, Longshanks has no legitimate authority to take any portion of my income without my permission. Of course he doesn't. That's what you got to get the rest of your family up to speed on and show them. Yeah, sure, there's lots of people with authority, but is it legitimate? And like I say, with the 4-question quest for freedom, just 4 questions, if you ask them, then you can prove them. No. And if you want to know what those questions are, I've shared it. Well, you just search my YouTube video or on any of my social media pages. If you just do a quick search, like I say, it's called the 4-question quest for freedom. And like I say, that's at least one area that I think would be worthwhile trying. And just to give you a rough idea right now, just a quick rundown, it's basically, and I'm sorry for the people that are in the stream that already have heard me say this multiple times, but I'm trying to help Wendy out here a little bit, is like, do I have any legitimate, like, use yourself as an example. Do I have a legitimate authority or right to take any portion of your income against your will or without your permission? And you would have to, whoever you're asking that question would have to be, of course you don't, right? No, you don't. Okay, well, do I have an authority or right to ask a friend of mine to take a portion of your income or your wealth without your permission against your will? Do they have, if I ask them to do they have authority to do? No, right? Because I can't delegate authority to my friend that I don't have, or a right onto my friend that I don't have, and then ask do I have the authority or the legitimate right to ask a group of my friends or a group of people in my community to take a portion of your income or your wealth against your will or without your permission, acting on my behalf. Well, you'd say, no, you don't. Your friend doesn't, and neither does everyone in your community. No matter how many, no matter if it's you as an individual or if there's 2 of you or 100 of you, none of you have any legitimate authority to take any portion of my income against my will or without my permission. By doing so, it's called theft, right? And that is 100% legitimate. So then just all you have to do is basically say after that. Now I'm paraphrasing, I'm shortening this up, right, for time's sake. But then after that, I say, okay, well then how does government gain the authority, right? Because what do I do? Or what does all the Canadians do? They go and check a box every 4 years and vote for a party. Well, if I don't have the authority to do it, and my friend don't have the authority to do it, or the 100 people in my community don't have the authority to do any of these things, well, how can we all, or anybody, how can I, or me and my friend, or me and the group of friends, or me and the group of the community, how do we have the authority, or how do we grant an authority that we don't possess onto someone else? Is it magic? If I don't have an authority, I can't magically give that authority to someone else, right? Simple as that. If something I don't possess, if I don't possess it, I can't give it or grant it to someone else. So it's a simple thing that it's literally impossible to vote for any kind of legitimacy in this. So like I say, I've got the questions laid out much better than how I kind of did it now, but you kind of get the idea, I'm sure, Wendy. Like I say, try that out, try that on for size, because I've always found, like I say, it gets people really thinking. At the very least, it gets them thinking big time. Buy seeds, grow a garden, go to local farmers market, or buy off farmer direct and have a butcher cut. Yes, for sure. Definitely go straight to the farmer. And it's better for the farmer, right? Less middleman, better for the farmer's bottom line, and better for you as well, right? So yes, I would definitely suggest doing the same thing. Good idea there, Gary. Anyways, I got to scroll down here big time because I'm what's going on, Rika? Oh, by the way, I probably should, hey, holla. I should have someone else. I'm just trying to figure out who always ends up in the stream all the time, because I would like to have one more moderator, just because Rika, she does show up in the stream a lot, and I really appreciate that, Rika, that you do show up in the stream quite a bit. And I do have people that have asked, like, do you have any moderation? Because some people would be like interested in too, but they don't want to get where they're going to be insulted. And it is a couple ladies, right? But listen, like I say, I'm tired of just being, I mean, it's not all just a sausage fest here, but I want more and more women to show their willingness to stand up for freedom and liberty. Because that's the thing. Liberty is not just a guy thing. It's for all of us, right? So yeah, we need more women, right, to join like libertarians and those of us that are standing up for freedom too, because it's like it can't come across as a sausage fest because then they can make the claim about misogynistic and all this crap, right? But anyways, what I was basically getting to is I'd like to have at least one other person that would be willing to take on moderator duties, just in case. Like normally I'm all for freedom of speech, but if somebody comes into my stream and I don't notice it, because as you see, I'm quite behind on the chat, right? But if someone's in there like advocating for violence or just pure like insulting someone else in the chat and being a complete ass, like I say, I'm all for freedom of speech, but come on, I expect people to be at least respectful of each other. And if it gets to the point where you're actually, targeting someone and like, I'm not saying if you say, call someone a name, like do your thing or whatever, but if you're just targeting someone and making it your goal to keep fuck with that person, then I would say, yeah, time them out or whatever the hell you got to do. Right. But because Rika obviously can't be there all the time, and nor would I expect her to have to be, it would be nice if I would have one more other person. And obviously, I would prefer someone that's usually here that shows up. Derek seems like he might be a decent guy. What do you think there, Derek? Are you still in the stream? You're usually in the streams quite a bit. Would you mind taking over some moderator duties? Sorry to put you on the spot like that. But yeah, I won't even bring out anyone's name. Let me see what Derek has to say. But I like I say, I would like to have at least one more. Gold banks or no, they have okay. Okay. Seeds, food, gold, silver, probably a crypto, a weapon, and shells will be pricey. Yeah, you're right about that, pseudoscientist. Yeah, very, very, yep, very, very valuable. Can't you get gold, silver coins, bullion from Scotiabank? Yeah, I'm not sure on that, to be honest with you. I just don't have any money to be buying any of that stuff anyway, so. Yeah, the mines can get back to yeah, that'd be nice to see. Let's talk about how it's not safe to be a Canadian male online. Well, I mean, it depends, right? It depends. If you're a Canadian male and rail against the state, you definitely got a lot of people who are going to target you. There's a lot of statists out there that want to maintain the status quo, but I'm not sure exactly which way you're going with that there, Maurice King. If you want to maybe expand on that, I see guns going for spike up 1,200% bull run on silver and gold. That's possible. Yeah, silver's still, it's probably down around 20 bones, I would imagine. Yeah, it's still, like I said, I would suggest it's still a pretty good investment too, right? Oh, you did. Nice. What'd you get it for in 2013 there, G Rich? I forget what silver was going for in 2013. Was it probably like 11, 12 bucks? Or it might have even, actually, there was a point where it went higher and then it went back down a little bit. There was that whole thing when they were hoarding. Oh, no, that wasn't silver. That was aluminum. Remember, there was a story. Remember, they were storing a bunch of aluminum, the big aluminum blocks in facilities in rundown buildings in Michigan and places like that because they were trying to bid up the price of it by showing a shortage or somehow. Yeah, I remember that. I have a nice lathe mill coming. Nice. That's a valuable piece of equipment right there, Gary. What's going on? Grendel Snap. Need to get off of Windows. C Librem Pure. Need to get off Windows. Unfortunately, I wish I could, but I'm very limited in my ability to do much these days. Oh, I see somebody talking about Berwick. Dollar Vigilante YouTube, one of those fellows just released a video on 3D weapons. Was quite interesting. Shows how to make a barrel that can use a lot of shells. Yeah, Jeff Berwick. Actually, I haven't paid attention to him for a long time. Bit of a personality conflict with that guy. Sitting down in Mexico talking about Canada and shit. It's like, we're up here in the belly of the beast, man. You're down there fucking. Anyways, but yeah, at least, at the very least, he's not a statist. So that's always a positive thing. Yeah, I have that one encrypted email, Proton Mail. I use that as well. The Canadian Navy has a metal 3D printer for fixing parts. Interesting. Ooh, Gary's a fabricator machinist by trade. So Gary's a very, very, very valuable man, and what's roaming around in that cranium of his seems to be quite valuable too, right? Or the skills that he's attained over the years, right? Some valuable hands you probably got there, Gary. Take care of them, buddy. Knowledge is huge power. Knowledge is probably the most powerful thing, even more than a nuclear weapon, to be honest with you, right? Well, is that knowledge that created a nuclear weapon. So, right? Nuclear weapons came to exist because of knowledge. So, yes, knowledge is very, very, very powerful. Center printer. Oh, yeah. Like you guys, I got to freaking catch up here. I got to catch up. Yeah, that's the thing. Yes, building the guns, but the ammo, but that is more difficult because, making the shells, finding old shells. It's their way of retrofit. I don't know, but yeah, that would definitely be the most difficult thing, I would say. Okay, scrolling down more. That's exactly, Micah W. Can't circumvent registration by exactly because they won't sell it to you without you having to register it, and that is true. That is just a reality, unfortunately, folks. Whoa, the stream just took off way down. I'm trying to get back up here and see. Anyone going to the protest in Ottawa July 1st? Gary is asking. Holy shit, it's an hour, 40 minutes already. Man, I can go by a couple hours with you folks so easily. I didn't even cover any articles. Wow, I tell you, that was amazing. Wow. Can't believe the time went by that quick. I really enjoy having these conversations. Or actually, not so much conversation. I guess I'm the kind of the one doing all the talking, but you folks are typing and I'm just reading. Anyways, I got to get down here because, I want to tie it up before 2 hours, and I want to read a little bit more. I seen Chronos Trigger and Reeker having a conversation there, but I kind of missed out where it started, so I'm way off of what's going on there. But I see everyone's being respectful of each other. Yeah, that's the problem with that stuff, right? The drug offenders, right? It is crazy. The war on drugs was so detrimental, and not just to minority groups, but anyone that's partakes, right, or cultivates or distributes. I mean, it is crazy, and especially with the 3 strikes laws on the books in certain states. Yeah, the war on drugs has been detrimental for a lot of people, and I definitely agree with Rika. I'm not a fan on the war on drugs. What people want to put in their own body, their choice, right? Do your fucking thing, as far as I'm concerned. Who the hell is it anybody's business to tell you what to do? Well, the reason why they feel emboldened to do that shit is because of these quasi-social healthcare systems where they create these healthcare systems. Oh, well, now I'm going to have to take care of you ever do anything. If you do too much drugs and you have to go to the hospital, well, now I have to pay for you. Therefore, I should have the ability to prevent you from doing drugs. Well, no, the best way to fix that is tell the government, stop fucking forcing you to pay for their fucking healthcare. Leave me the fuck alone. Let me be me. You do you. And we can both go through life fine, right? Maybe never have to meet each other, not give a flying fuck whether we did or not. That's the problem with socially and economically enslaving people. That's the problem with democracy. It literally enslaves us to each other. And it sounds good in theory. Oh yeah, no, believe me. You don't want to be fucking stuck with a whole bunch of enslaved. There might be a few good people among them, but you're also getting a lot of bad people too, right? Legend TV, the man, the myth, the legend. It's you people. You people. Is that you, Don? That you, Don? How you making out, Don? How's the podcast going? Just kidding. So crazy just because Don freaking Cherry said you people, right? It's like, how many times, even myself, I've used that word before, and not meant in any way like towards racist or stuff or anything like that. It's like what? I hear people all the time that use that stuff. You people, for a myriad of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're racist. I mean, if you're going to be a fucking racist, if Don wanted to be a racist, like, why would he measly mouth it by just saying you people? Like, come on. I'm pretty sure Don would be brave enough to say, like, if he was a true racist, like, just fucking be a racist. Like, be brave and bold, say what's on your mind. But, Don ain't no racist, man. Come on. But that was crazy. I found that to be just so crazy. Yeah, national, exactly. Is statism. Why push one foot off your neck just to have enough? Exactly. I wish so many right-wingers would come to realize this, Stan. This is why, like, me and the right-wingers seem to be having so many issues these days, is they don't realize that that is statism. And once again, as a libertarian, I call myself the Canadian libertarian. So I kind of we're not getting rid of the nation called Canada anytime soon. So it's like, even if you're a nationalist, I'm not your worst enemy. I'm not trying to destroy Canada. I don't understand it. It's just that I realize that kind of mindset allows for a lot of bad people to do a lot of bad things, and that you'll align with a lot of bad people, right? That's the thing with nationalism or talking about things from that perspective is, yeah, think about the kind of people that would be nationalists, right? You get a lot of bad people that want to be nationalists. Sure, there are good people that are nationalists, 100%, but by the sheer fact, or at least they believe they're good people because of the fact that they just want their country to be free, right? Because they're not properly understanding what all this stuff even means. So they have the right intentions, but there are a lot of bad people with bad intentions that are considered nationalists or identify as nationalists, which is why if you use that as a label where you're trying to get people into towards united under nationalism, well, that means that I have to align myself with people that would rather see me fucking dead than alive. Like, Yeah, that's not going to work. At least with libertarians, at least if you want to identify as a libertarian or an independent or a sovereign or someone that's a voluntarist or an anarchist, at least these are people like, okay, so you're not using the pretense of gigantic monopoly of violence as your means to an end, namely statism or government, right? Like, come on, I just don't want to align with people that would rather see me dead. At least under the moniker or under the banner of libertarianism, it's like, oh, okay, so you're the kind of person that's don't believe in using preemptive force or violence, but you definitely believe in using it for defensive purposes, but you respect people in their social and economic lives as long as they're not causing harm to people, right? You believe in self-ownership and property rights. All right, like that's the thing. That label tells me that, okay, we're already people that we understand that we're going to come together because we're not trying to impose or force our edicts on each other. That's where we can come together. So if we're going to come together, it's going to be under a banner of libertarianism, not under nationalism or globalism. And that's what I've heard even, actually, was it, there's a few people I've heard mention that where it's nationalism versus globalism. And actually, yeah, I think it was Mark Friesen, I think kind of talks about that from time to time, where it's nationalism versus globalism. It's like, okay, well then you're good luck with your group because you're leaving people like myself and a whole lot of other us out here that really could help you out a whole lot. You're leaving us on the sidelines because I'm neither nationalist nor am I a globalist. So if it's I got to pick one or the other, well, it's like, nope, I'll choose option C, right? So yeah, we're not going to be able to come together under that, right? Anyways, thanks for pointing that out there, Stan. 146. Okay, going scrolling. They see me scrolling. I'm sure with your stellar intellect. Oh, never mind. It's I'm not worried about Rika. She can handle herself. No problem at all. Rika can handle herself. I wonder, could I make a fake political party and get votes? Yeah. Oh, you probably could. Wouldn't do you a whole lot of good, but all together July 1st. Like I say, I hope that I do see, because like I say, I'm not a fan of the protest thing. I've watched, it's been quite the fail for the most part, but I would love to see enough Canadians to finally try something and see, just like I say, just an experiment, see if it's going to work. But if you do try that as an experiment and you see that there's very few, then like I say, you're going to have to try some new strategies, man. I find personally sending a real thought-provoking video to someone's, oh, so that's how far I am. Okay. Had the best results. Yeah, that's true. Yep. No, that's true. Yeah. Because it gives them the ability to do it, like, at their own time, at their own leisure, without having to deal with that cognitive dissonance when they're learning, they're hearing things, right? That is difficult. But yeah, I agree, Mr. G. Rich. Yeah, just leave it in their inbox on their email right here. Please check this out, please. All I'm asking of you is just check it out, right? That's all. And just leave it there in their inbox or on their social media page. Just leave it there. Or as a private message, right? So actually, yeah, because if you do it on their social media page, it's like you're putting them on the spotlight, right? Publicly. Send it as a private message. I think that's a good idea, Mr. G. Rich. You'd definitely be more successful, I believe, than just trying to, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, yeah, how well does that work, right? Fucking status. Right on, Rika. State is going to state, right? State is going to state. Did you see my new, well, it's not new. I had it years ago too, but I brought it. It's back, baby. The kid on the bicycle, the Rothbardian, baby. But yes, state is going to state, Rika. State is going to state. Someone else there lost their license, did you? Once I get my full license back and wheels, that may change. May join both. What was that? Yeah, I know all about the losing the license and the livelihood. Well, I was a truck driver. I'm sure you guys already heard this story many times, so I don't need to repeat that. I tried doing that, send a video, but they think I'm just conspiracy theorist. Well, that can happen too. Well, just That's the thing. Whatever the video you're going to send them, like, it's the thing. If you, I don't know, let's just use the terminology. If you're trying to red pill them, like I say, kind of maybe depending on who they are, you might want to like just kind of allow them to dip their toes in the water just slightly, or maybe not give it to them full on. I don't know. Like I say, it's really difficult because it really at the end of the day comes down to like the type of personality they are and how willing they are to accept new information. It's not easy, and there's no such thing as like here, Wendy, do this and this will work. I wish. If I had that winning strategy that I knew about, trust me, I'd be sharing it with you folks, and I'd be able to say, look how successful I've been. But obviously, I haven't figured that one out either, Wendy, because I mean, I've been somewhat successful, but the amount of work and effort I've had to put in for the little bit of success that I've achieved over like I say, I've been going at this for over 10 years now. The YouTube channel, about 6 of them, but for the success that I've achieved or attained, like definitely more failure than success. So I can't even say that I'm in a position to tell you what's best for everybody, because I have yet to figure that out myself. So that's kind of how we can help each other though, right? Because some things will work for some people, some other things will work for others. But yeah, it's a shame. I know, Wendy, that stuff happens, right? That does happen. But chances are when they do that, that is their cognitive dissonance. And maybe, like I say, maybe they'll try to look at it later. And maybe they'll be like, oh shit, she was right. So that's the thing. Because what they're going to respond to you first and foremost is it might be different than if they actually took the time to actually watch it. So you never know. Maybe in the future they'll say, yeah, remember that time I said you're a conspiracy theorist? Yeah, sorry about that. I actually did go after that and check out what you sent me. And you know what? Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I apologize. That could happen too. So, you can still hold out a little bit of hope. But that's the thing. Time is marching on, folks. So every time I'm doing these chats and these streams, it's like, damn, we got to, at some point in time, we kind of got to ramp up or hasten up the pace, right? We're like, because like I say, I don't know how many more years we can allow to go by before we're even have the ability or the capacity to have these kind of conversations. So that's another thing to keep in mind too, right? I know I wish we could wait and do this all nice and seamlessly and everything will just unfold. Nobody ever has to get hurt. Nobody. I wish that was the case. I'm pretty sure we all wish that was the case, but I just don't know. At some point in time, I think we're going to get to the point where we're going to have to maybe get into panic mode, and things don't work out good if you have to get into panic mode, right? Because then mistakes happen and a lot of people get hurt, right, under a panic situation or scenario. But I'm really happy to see, especially with the ladies here. We got Mike. Is Micah? Micah's, yeah. Micah's, yeah, right? I believe so. Correct. But I'm very happy to see that there are a few more women that are finally coming around to watching the streams too. Because like I say, yeah, we don't want to have just a pure sausage fest around here, folks. Like I say, liberty matters for both. And like me and my wife both care about this stuff, right? Now, I'm the one that obviously does this stuff. My wife don't even like going on normal social media, right? She's one of those people that actually don't give a shit about social media at all. And I so much respect her for that. Sometimes I think you're way smarter than I am, babe, when it comes to that stuff. Because look at the shit I put myself through, and you're much wiser. You don't put yourself through that hell. And you're definitely better off in your mind, right? Psychologically because of it. So that's the thing. I guess for me, I'll take all the brunt. I'll take all the shit, right? And I tried. I guess that's me being my kind of a chauvinistic kind of man. Is like, here, babe, I'll take all that crap and protect you from the bad. But like, it's not like my wife is like weak or anything. She can handle tons of stuff. And we definitely, like I say, we definitely have these conversations all the time. And what it is, it happens privately. She's like me, but to the nth degree in terms of like camera shy, right? She's not a fan of any of that stuff. She's more of a very private person in terms of that stuff. But like I say, I'm really happy to see that there are more and more ladies showing up the stream and following the channel. I'm really happy about that. No one said the U.S. didn't need prisons. You strum. Oh. I could probably just sit and listen to just read Rita's insults because they're pretty wild. Yeah. Don't mess with Rika, or sorry, Rika, not Rita. I'm sure you all saw the incident happened on Monday 4th in Lethbridge, Alberta, with the cops and the stormtrooper. Was absolutely disgusting. Watching it made me very. Yeah, I didn't actually watch it. Miss G Rich, and I'll tell you why. I'm just going to be honest with you folks here is, I don't know, I hate using that term trigger again, but especially my oldest son, he, both of us there for a while got really into, because I don't know if you remember, but there was quite a while, a lot of it was American examples where there was a lot of police brutality that was being shared publicly on social media pages like YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And like I say, this is when it was like, it was more of a like free for all in terms of the stuff that was being shared on social media. And yeah, I watched enough of them, and because me and my son were both talking about, and we did a couple videos together talking about, the police state and how the police, these order followers, carry out the edicts of. But yeah, watching some of those videos, yeah, I mean, there's only so many of those things that I can watch. Like, I'll watch a horror movie because you know that it's fake, right? Because at least psychologically you can convince yourself that it's not real at the very least. But when you see real life examples, yeah, that can get hard on the head. So I get watching those things, but now, like, I kind of don't even like to watch those things. I mean, I'm not adverse to them. I would, but I just not on a regular basis anymore. I got enough of a fill, and I thought I was getting a little bit too desensitized to that shit. And I don't want to lose my sensitivity to the point where I'm just a fucking, a mindless or a heartless brute, right? So I don't watch too much of that stuff. It's hard to take, especially when you see like that kind of authoritarianism shit. It's like, I got to tell you, it has that effect where like it can trigger your sensibilities, right? But anyways, oh, no problem, Wendy. Like I say, I don't know. There is no one size fits all. I wish there was, but it's just keep trying whatever you think. Like I say, just as with everything, try new experiment, because obviously if you're doing the same thing over and over, you expect different results. It's the definition of insanity, as they say, right? But try whatever you can. Like I say, there's always going to be little ways, and it's going to depend on the particular person that you're dealing with. So thanks for all you do, and please, everybody, have respect for. Yes, I agree, Mr. G Rich. Yeah, please have respect for Rika. She's awesome. Me and Rika go back, I mean, at least probably the full 10 years, I would imagine. At least since the 2012. So that would have been 2011 when the whole 2012 election was taking place. Because that was when I got even more like really active in the social media, was around like 2011-ish. So I'm pretty sure I've known Rika. We've known each other for a long, long time. And I've always had a lot of respect for Rika. So yeah. But I don't, like I say, I don't try to be that kind of guy that's like too overly protective of her, because she can definitely handle herself too, right? And I wouldn't want to be like, oh, don't worry, Bennett, I don't need you to come to my aid or all that stuff. And I get it. But yeah, please be respectful of each other. Anyways, just be respectful. I don't even expect everyone in the chat to agree with each other. Come on, I don't agree with I'm sure you folks on everything either. But yeah, be a little bit respectful, because that's what separates, what I'm hoping to keep at least this channel separate from a lot of other ones, is that we can disagree with each other. And I'm even trying to get better myself, right? I'm all the time trying to improve myself, is like, rather than even try to go into I'm right and you're wrong. Like, just work through that, Bennett, because is it, what's going to be more beneficial, right? So I'm trying to work through that and be more respectful. So and hopefully by leading by example, so will you folks too, right? Because that's really what, if I am expecting everyone in the chat to be respectful, then I have to do it myself, right? So yeah, let's be respectful to each other, and no problem with having disagreements, even vigorous disagreements. There's nothing wrong with that, but just don't get into the personal attacks and all that stuff, right? Just at some point in time, if you don't agree, just be like, okay, we disagree. Move along, folks. Yeah, we're not liberals. We can argue with it attacking the person. Exactly. Yeah. Although, like I said, I don't even like to use that term liberal. Oh, wait, what's this 2_ thing here? Trying to bring Trudeau in front of a war crimes tribunal for crimes. We need to help those lawyers in Quebec and Ontario trying to bring Trudeau in front of a war crimes tribunal. I never even heard of such a thing. Never heard of such a thing. Oh, look, someone else new in the chat. I'm going to try to get through these quicker, folks. Sorry about that. Clinton Bowman. Hey, what's going on? Clinton Canton sold gold mine in Northwest Territories to go to Canada again. What? Say what? Oh, sorry, to China. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Actually, yeah, I did read about that, Clinton. Yeah, I know, right? What the heck, man? What the heck? It's like everything's on fire sale or something, like to the highest bidder in this country. It's unbelievable, right? Okay, scrolling down. I guess no one's reading me because I'm not super chatter. No, I'm reading you. I just started noticing your things here, but what kind of username is that anyway? That's a weird username. And no profile picture. I don't know. Must have to remain anonymous. His abuse of our human rights require action. We need to try all the legal ways, and all these fail. We can talk to go. All right. Actually, were you the one that was on there before that was advocating stuff? Anyways, looks like he's gone already. As soon as I read lawyers thought set up, they will charge him and likely kill her. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. Doesn't mean that that's not happening, but okay. I think I'm pretty much caught up. Oh, is Gato in here? Oh, Gato is in there. Holy crap. If I wasn't so far behind in the chat, I would have noticed earlier, wouldn't have I, Gato? Don't forget to go buy your mother some flowers. Yes. No, that's tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Yes. Actually, glad that you brought that up, Gato. Good thing I noticed Gato in the chat there. Well, a little late than ever. He's probably already gone now. But anyways, yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I would have completely slipped my mind, actually, to be honest with you there, Gato. But yeah, don't forget to go buy your mother some flowers. Keep in mind that the stores are closed on Sunday. Yes. Right. Exactly. So yes, definitely, Mother's Day is tomorrow, and do what you can to show a little love to Mama there, and hopefully she'll return the favor. Right? Say family, folks, family. Anyways, like I say, I'm probably going to tie up the stream there now. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. So thanks for everyone that did show up to the stream. I really appreciate all you fine folks showing up again. Like I say, on Monday. So tomorrow, I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow. Me and the wife going to spend time together, obviously. But Monday, it'll be me and Leo having a conversation. And that'll be, what did I say, 12 p.m. Eastern time. So that'll be 1 p.m. Atlantic time, 10 p.m. Just look at the time zone things. But it's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Atlantic time. And actually, well, if you're in where Leo's at in Alberta, I believe it's 10. It'll be 10 o'clock Alberta time, but it should be a good conversation because, like I say, it's something that I think we really need to do and really get down to discussing with each other is where do we go from here? How do we get all of us to kind of show a little bit more solidarity with each other and not be so divisive among each other? And like I say, find a way to put our differences aside and hopefully come together to do the right thing so that we can be seen as a real show of force, because divided, yeah, we can be conquered quite easily and quite readily, right? But I'm not trying to make an argument for the fascist thing, right? But it is true. Like, the more of us together, like the stronger the ties that bind us, right? That is just reality, right? That is just truth. And we do have to figure it some way because, as we see, the time's marching on. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not an alarmist by any stretch of the imagination, but time is definitely running out in terms of our ability to be able to do what we're doing now and have the ability to actually discuss these things, before we have to get into, like I say, emergency measures, let's just say, right? Where we're all kind of scattered trying to figure out what to do next. While we still have the ability to talk amongst each other and kind of come together, then I think we need to take advantage of that. And like I say, put our petty differences aside. It's very important for us to do so. And like I say, even myself, I get it. I can be a little bit egotistical at times, even myself. Although a lot of times it's not so much ego. It's about when I know that I'm right. And there are times when I am wrong for sure. But when I know that I'm right, and there are certain times when I know with 100% certainty I'm right, I'm not the kind of person that'll back down from that. Like, now there are areas where if it's based on subjective opinions or whims, where I'll admit, okay, that I could be wrong. But if it's something that I know I'm right about, like it's really hard for me to bow down and conform to someone that's wrong, because it's not just for me, but it's the message I'm sending to anyone else that's watching too. It's like, oh, So that's what you do. If you're right, you bow down and conform to someone who's wrong just to kind of go along to get along. It's like, no. So this is the area, like I say, but we'll discuss all this kind of stuff when we're having the conversation, because like I say, it's all tactical too, is what, not that we should come together, but tactically speaking, what can we all do as individuals that represent a larger group of individuals to push back against the authoritarians? And like I say, we can do it. But first and foremost, before we're going to be any kind of a pushback or threat to those who try to rule over us, is we got to at least figure it a way. We got to at least clean up our own houses and make sure that we're at least all on the same page first and foremost, right? And then we can be a genuine force for good. But yeah, and thanks for mentioning that, Wendy. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Mom's Day to you lovely ladies on here. Yes, and you too as well, Wendy and Rika and all the other ladies or whoever else is on the show. And hey, for all the guys that's going to spend some time with your moms tomorrow, and whether it's in person or through social media, FaceTime or Skype or something like that. Yeah, like I say, thanks for everyone that showed up the stream. We'll see you on Monday. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.